We've stayed at some weird hotels before, but never ones with this kind of history. This is considered one of the most haunted hotels in all of America, and tonight we're checking in. This is the Queen Mary.
We're giving you a full tour of the Queen Mary, one of the most famous ships in the world. Later in this video, we'll take you along on a late night paranormal shipwalk to see if this place is truly haunted. But first, let's start with a little history behind this legendary ocean liner. Launched in 1934, the RMS Queen Mary was once the crown jewel of the seas, a British ocean liner carrying Hollywood stars, world leaders, and thousands of hopeful travelers across the Atlantic. During World War II, the ship transformed into a vessel of war, ferrying troops across dangerous waters. Her speed and stealth earned her the nickname the Grey Ghost. Retired in 1967, she's been docked here in Long Beach ever since. Now a floating hotel and museum. But some say the Queen Mary never truly rests. Many guests report footsteps in empty corridors, doors slamming on their own, and ghostly sightings in the infamous room B340, the first class pool and deep within the engine room.
We've just checked into our stateroom since we're on a ship. We booked a deluxe king with a harbor view, which you'll see in a minute. So far, impressions, it is all covered in wood and it feels very Art Deco-y. Everything you need is modern, but the touches and the accents are vintage and original to the boat. So all the walls and the doors are this beautiful wood. And then you have these little things like, this is temperature control, but it doesn't work anymore because they told us it's a central temperature control. You just have these little things that you can manipulate, but it doesn't actually work or do anything. This is a vintage heater. It might be original to the ship, I don't know, but it's really awesome that they've kept those touches. Like these closet doors here, they have these little push buttons. And you've got your modern amenities like an iron and ironing board and luggage rack and all that good stuff. Bed is a feather top. So modern. Oh no, I shouldn't have laid down. Modern bed, but vintage side tables or built-ins, I guess. Also, the side tables are right for the period with marble tops. Very beautiful. I'm really excited. Like, the vibe of this room is just kind of like old world. It's just, it really, really goes well with what they're trying to do with the Queen Mary. Just kind of harken back to that golden era period. They've done a really good job. Oh, so cute. I love that.
Kind of feel like I'm sailing on the Titanic.
No, don't say that. And pretty much the reason I booked this particular room is because of the windows. But they're not windows, they're called portholes. Don't call them windows. Ta-da! Look how cool that is. Oh my God. When are we gonna be able to say that we've stayed in a room that has portholes unless we're on, you know, a cruise? And it's not gonna be this cool because these are from the 1930s. It's amazing. It's so thick and durable, but it makes such a statement. I mean, the statement is that this is a ship from the 1930s, but you know, I love it. I don't know, just the vibe is immaculate. If I had to pick a second favorite part of the room though, that would probably be the bathroom. This has a lot of original touches. They left these original faucet knobs here. Do these even work? They turn. I don't think they turn on water though. Even some of the fixtures are still kind of vintage looking. And I think this has the original plumbing. It hasn't been completely updated because this toilet, like, it looks pretty intense. The pipe going into the floor. Look at this flush. You push this here.
Do it.
I love it.
These hallways are crazy looking. It feels like a haunted hotel. It feels like I'm in The Shining right now.
The cool thing is this is also a museum, so there are historic exhibits all throughout the ship that you can see that are marked on the map. So you can see what it looked like in its heyday. We're exploring a little bit. We made some reservations for dinner. I'm most excited about the observation bar, which is an Art Deco themed bar, although I guess it's not themed, it actually is Art Deco. That's all the way at the forward part of the ship, and they have a happy hour, which we're going to check out in just a minute. Oh my gosh, it's beautiful in here. I love Art Deco. It's so pretty. We've come into the main hall on the promenade deck and it's gorgeous. It's just gold and wood and just looks so glam. I'm underdressed.
So we made our way into the observation bar, which is a really, really cool bar at the front of the ship. We decided to get a couple of drinks because it was happy hour and a charcuterie board. We do have dinner reservations in about 3 hours. I think we're gonna be eating a lot today.
The Queen Mary's maiden voyage was in 1936, which, as we know, was just before World War II. So when World War II broke out, the Allies wanted to consider the Queen Mary for some kind of military use. What they ended up using it for was troop transport. So they painted the entire ship gray, and it went back and forth across the Atlantic 1,001 times in total, and they actually called it the Gray Ghost. Even though it never actually saw any military action, they still wanted to make sure that the ship could defend itself, so they outfitted it with a bunch of gigantic guns. This is a 40mm anti-aircraft gun, and it's pretty insane. Also, there's a fantastic view of the Long Beach skyline, which is our hometown. They have a lifeboat, and it looks like it has not been restored since 1936.
There's so many different decks to explore here. They have all these little placards that tell you where certain exhibits are. You can also just walk around on your own and get a lot of information.
We found the bridge, which you can just come and visit. It's completely original. That was terrible! We touched on this a little bit in the beginning of the video, but the Queen Mary is actually notoriously really haunted. And we are now in the exhibition called the Isolation Room, which is definitely giving off those creepy haunted vibes.
This is where they would have kept any passengers or crew members who got sick with infectious diseases to quarantine them away from all the rest of the passengers. Definitely a different vibe down here. It's pretty musty and quiet. Feels a little different. What do you think?
We're definitely gonna get a lot creepier tonight when we take the Paranormal Ghost Tour. The record of passenger deaths. Ooh.
The tour we booked is leaving at 9 o'clock, so that is about an hour after the sun sets. The Queen Mary definitely takes on a different vibe at night.
So this is the engine room of the Queen Mary, which is basically the heart of the entire ship.
Really isn't anybody here. Super creepy.
Pretty sure we're gonna be coming back down here during the Paranormal Ghost Walk. It's gonna be a little bit creepier. And it's pretty creepy right now, if I'm being honest. Doesn't turn.
It's really quiet down here. Just all this old machinery. It smells kind of funny too.
I heard some weird noises. It sounded like something chewing on something.
Huh. Whoa. That is in the water.
What? That is insane. I don't know why it's so creepy. There are two full-service restaurants on board right now, the Promenade Cafe and the Chelsea Chowder Bar, which is where we are right now. This is the more high-end of the restaurants. It's only open for dinner, whereas the Promenade Cafe is open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I got a cocktail. This is called a Shore Leave Spritz.
We ordered a filet mignon, we ordered scallops, and we got an artichoke dip to share. And all the food was really good. We definitely ate way too much food.
Started our paranormal tour, and our first stop is the bridge, which we visited earlier, but it's much creepier at night, especially when you hear about a ghost that sometimes haunts up here, and you can come in and look in the windows, and a Commodore is like standing at the helm. Our tour guide's name is Gus, and he's going to take us to some of the parts of the ship that you can't get to normally. There's people in there, don't worry. So far, creepy start. I don't know what to expect. It's really haunted if you believe in that stuff. If you don't, I don't know. Come see for yourself and get the vibes. I don't know. I'm nervous.
I hope you know that we do have a reputation for being haunted, right? You are in the Paranormal Shipwalk tour.
The next stop on our tour was Sir Winston's. This now closed restaurant was once the first-class smoking lounge. During World War II, Winston Churchill himself crossed the Atlantic aboard the Queen Mary, often spending evenings right here, planning strategies that would shape history. Some say he never left. Investigators have reported seeing a shadowy figure in this room, a figure they claim resembles Churchill. Standing here in the quiet, unused space, it's hard not to feel the weight of history and maybe something still lingering in the air. Next, we entered a part of the ship tied to the darkest chapter in the Queen Mary's history. In October 1942, while serving as a troop ship, the Queen Mary accidentally collided with the HMS Curacao off the coast of Ireland. The smaller vessel split in two, sinking in minutes, and hundreds of men lost their lives. Under wartime orders, the Queen Mary couldn't stop. Deep below deck, we looked into another grim part of her past, a holding area where prisoners of war were once kept. Behind the still intact iron bars, many facing despair chose to end their lives here. Standing in this space, surrounded by darkness and history, you can almost feel the weight of these stories.
That's creepy. Now we're going to the first class swimming pool, which is one of the places that is not accessible to the public.
Just as we thought, the tour took us back to the engine room, where one of the ship's most infamous tragedies happened, at watertight door 13. In 1966, 18-year-old crewman John Petter was crushed during a routine drill when the door closed unexpectedly. Some say it was a tragic accident. Others believe something more sinister happened that night. Today, visitors and crew alike report strange activity in this part of the ship. Unexplained sounds, cold spots, and even sightings of a figure near the door. Whether it's John Petter or something else, this remains one of the Queen Mary's most haunted locations.
Good morning.
We both slept great. The bed was super comfortable. There was no crazy haunted experiences throughout the night.
Am I disappointed about that or am I happy about that? I'm not sure.
This place is definitely creepy. I'll say that for sure. Definitely a unique experience. As far as it being haunted, we got some bad vibes on our paranormal tour, but that was about it.
I even went out after midnight and explored a little bit on my own. I did not see anything.
But definitely recommend to stay at the Queen Mary. Really, really cool hotel.
Haunted or not, it's still one of the coolest hotels in California for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely unique. It is the only pre-World War II ocean liner that's still in existence. The rest of them have sunk. That's really interesting. And if you're a history buff, definitely need to come check it out.
If you have any questions about staying on the Queen Mary, be sure to drop them in the comments.
Until next time, this is Kelly and Kevin from the Agua Tourists. Peace out.